Australians, renting is the best policy. You get to choose where you live and you get to pick almost everything you want for that home. But unfortunately, as a rental, there are very little things you can do for the actual property, especially when you consider the escalating cost of electricity. However, there are solutions for you, and today I'm going to show you how. Nicole, this is such an interesting story. You're a renter, yet you've chosen to install solar power. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So our bills have been going up. We thought moving here, a newer house, a newer property, solar hot water, that our bills would actually be going down, but we've noticed that they've just keep on going up. So we definitely wanted to make some changes, and one of those things was exploring solar as a renter.
So Nicole, your journey is super interesting. You had a nice property before, you've got 3 kids now, so obviously your needs have increased over time. Can you talk me through your journey?
Absolutely. So in our previous home, so we've been renting for a while now. We had our kids in our last home. We noticed that, the cost of living was pretty on par back then, but as they've been growing older, they've been using more things, unfortunately, certainly eating more. And so as we've moved here, we've noticed that our bills just seem to be shooting up. So that's our water bills, gas, and obviously electricity as well.
So you then chose to go solar. Now that must have been a very interesting process considering that you're renting. How did that play out with the landlord?
Yeah, so very interesting. Obviously it's not a normal thing for someone to rent to go down the avenue of solar. And so we did have obviously a lot of options when it comes to solar. I think the normal thing that somebody would do is that they would contact the real estate agent, who would then get in contact with the landlord, and they would organise something. So it might be that the landlord pays for half of it, or maybe the landlord pays for all of it. The landlord might choose to keep the feed-in tariff so that they can cover some of the costs. What we chose to do, however, because we have a great relationship with the landlord, they know that we're going to be here because the kids they go to school just across the road. They know that we're going to be here for a number of years. We pay our rent on time. The smartest thing for us was to just pay for solar outright ourselves.
And the process of going solar power was really speaking to a local solar electrician to start with. Who did you guys work with?
So we went with O'Brien Plumbing and Electrical in Rowville.
And they came out to the home.
They did.
Had a look at the electricity bill, worked it out for you. Were you pleasantly surprised when you saw the return on investment was going to be like sub 3 years?
Absolutely. I know a lot about solar, but still that payback period, you're always like, I don't know, is it actually going to be two to 3 years? But having a look at our bills, absolutely.
Now, obviously these guys reached out, they wanted to go solar power. They got you guys to come in and sit down with them. Can you talk me through your process?
We had a brief discussion over the phone. I then came out and sat down with her and discussed her needs, not just now, but in the future. Obviously, being a renter, she needed something that was going to have a really quick return on investment because, ideally I think she wants to stay here, but we want something that's going to pay for itself nice and quick. So we looked at a number of different options, and eventually we settled on the Solis Inverter.
And what advice would you give to other renters out there? I mean, they've never seen Nicole's story. They're looking at their energy bills probably right now thinking this is horrendous and it's getting worse. What would you be advising them to do?
Look, I would just say it's worth a chat, definitely, with your landlord, particularly when the price of solar is what it is. There's rebates available that can make this a really quick turnaround, and in the end, even if you're only here for 3 or 4 years, it's paid for itself twice over, and you're looking after your energy needs, because I can't see the price of energy coming down anytime soon.
No, it's not looking good, is it?
Solis Inverter on this wall is one of the latest energy storage hybrid inverter called the S6-EH1P6K-L-AU hybrid. This is one of the most advanced residential energy storage product. This one here has a 6 kilowatt backup capacity. It can supply your house in terms of, if there's a grid outage, it can supply you 6 kilowatts of backup power from a battery. And it has UPS switching, which is seamless, so you wouldn't even realize that you've lost power. For residential homes like this will be an ideal product because it offers you the flexibility of choosing your setup. So you can do multiple things with this inverter. So you can choose to have a battery or not have a battery, add a battery later on. You can export power to the grid. And obviously with this inverter, you can store energy. So like if the customer is not using PV during the daytime, they can store it in the battery and use it in the night. So they can offset the energy bills for the consumption during the night. So this is the advantage of having this inverter for residential homes like this.
So Nicole, is there any advice you can offer anyone else in the same position as yourself?
The first thing to do is absolutely open up that dialogue with your landlord. They may be wanting to do some stuff with the house anyway, whether it's solar, whether it's wanting to upgrade, change some of the appliances in the house anyway. But sit down with your bills, have a look at what you're actually paying for. Have a look what that's going to be like over the, the next 2, 3, 4, even 10 years, depending on how long you're wanting to actually stay in the house for. If it makes sense to go and install solar, explore it. Find a good solar installer that's willing to go through your bills with you, willing to go through and really map things out so it can actually appear to be a good, solid investment.